The Secret Misses. Chapter 781. Late at night in a certain bungalow in the north of the city. An assistant carefully carried an elegant dress into the bedroom. Alice, the dress for Fashion Week has been chosen. Would you like to take a look? It's a dress from history. I saw that you were praising their designer's style previously, so. Alice was absent-mindedly sitting in front of her dressing table, not even looking at the dress before saying, "Just put it down." Oh. Seeing that Alice did not reject the dress, the assistant was relieved and quickly put the dress down. After she left, the assistant immediately sent a message to the person who had asked for her favor. "No problem, I've passed it to Alice." In the room, Alice stared listlessly at the dress, then pulled out a document from her drawer. The divorce papers. These few days, Marcel's attitude towards her had become increasingly indifferent and he was increasingly anxious, urging her to sign her agreement to the divorce. He did not even care about their reputation anymore and immediately brought the matter to court. She stood up and slowly opened her wardrobe. Hanging inside was a beautiful dress for the runway. It was the dress she wore the first time she walked onto an international stage. While she was a slightly fitful and cranky woman, lacking the thoughtfulness of that woman, it did not mean she had put in any less effort into the relationship. Initially, she had a change in careers to become a top model and she even climbed to the peak of the fashion pyramid. However, for this man, she had given up on her dreams. At last, what had she gotten in the end? Compared to a girl who buskied in the bar. Divorce? She had made such a sacrifice and clipped her own wings, and now he wanted a divorce while she watched the two of them take flight. How could she be willing to sign the papers? Sadly, they had already reached this stage. Did she have any other options apart from divorce? She looked up at the time on the wall and saw that it was a few minutes till dawn. At that moment, she suddenly thought about that girl she had met in the car park and her promise. She could not help but smile wryly. She slowly pulled open her drawer and took out the divorce papers with a trembling hand. At that moment, the room door burst open. Marcel, who had not been home for half a month, was now standing at the door, staring at her with bloodshot eyes. That gaze of his made Alice's heart wrench in agony. "Didn't I say I would give you an answer tomorrow? You can't even wait another night?" In the next second, Marcel fell to his knees in front of her, and slapped himself, before hugging her legs. "Dear. I've been wrong. Please forgive me. Please." Alice was speechless. That very moment, a voice flashed in her mind. "I can guarantee that your husband will be crying his way back to you while hitting his mouth to beg for your forgiveness." Then, her phone suddenly rang. She had received a message. "Ms. Alice, if you're satisfied, please give 5 stars. Spirit Studio." The next night, in a private room at Imperial Night Hotel, Alice finally evaluated the girl in front of her. How did you do it?" "I've asked Marcel the reason, but he wouldn't say anything. He only kept saying that he was wrong and he begged me to forgive him." This was within Luna's expectations. As a man, how could Marcel tell his wife that he had been cheated on by a third party? "It's nothing special. I just hired a man to hook up with Alara and let your husband catch them red-handed," Luna simply explained. Chapter 782. Alice suddenly understood, but she was even more suspicious. Is it that easy? She was not tooting her own horn, but based on Marcel's qualifications, he was only one step away from being in the top percentile of most handsome and successful men around. There was no way Alara could easily be seduced by another man. "Everything is possible," Luna simply said. Alice did not want to hear any more about the woman either, so she didn't pursue the matter. She just looked at Luna and said, "It doesn't matter how you did it. I will fulfill my promise to you. Even if your designs are like dog shit, I will wear them." Luna's expression darkened. "I know we did this under the table and not very transparently, but our designer is talented and capable." Then, she gave her a folder. Inside it was an introduction to their studio and Angelo's portfolio, including some of his work. Alice took it from her and simply skimmed through it. Slowly, her expression changed to one of wonder. You're the studio that won the Golden Award? Yes. I've not been paying attention to what's happening outside in the past few days because of my husband. But the latest Golden Award winner is quite interesting. How is your designer related to James? Why do the styles look so similar? It's like it's the same person, but possibly in different phases. James's style is slightly underdeveloped but full of passion and life, whereas ZX's has more volume and explosive power, Alice analyzed. She was indeed a professional. Luna nodded excitedly. I can't say anything now, but one day, the truth will be made known to the world. Alice gave it some thought, then closed the folder and asked, since you guys have already gotten the Golden Award, why are you still worried about not getting business? Why do you have to use such ways to get to me? Luna scratched her head as she tried to explain. On one hand, it's market saturation we are being challenged with. Even you can see that our style overlaps with history's. On the other hand, we haven't found a suitable sales manager for the time being. Some other studios' designers also do sales, but our designer is one of those whose heart is focused on designing only. Plus, we don't want him to be distracted either. Alice's rapped her knuckles on the table, then said, I'll give you one then. Huh? Luna blinked. Give me? Give me what? Give you a person, my marketing department's trump card, Alice said casually. Pfft. Luna almost spat her coffee onto the woman across her. You can even give a person? Sis, you're being too generous, aren't you? Why not? Do you want this offer? If not, it's fine. Wait, let me ask first, the one you want to give us, is it a man or a woman? Is there a difference? Alice asked. Luna nodded vigorously. Of course, there's a difference. If it's a man, then forget it. Why? Alice did not understand. Why? Obviously it was because she was afraid the devil would get jealous. The last time when she had picked up Angelo, Theo had gone crazy. He would go off the charts if she took in another man. Because my designer has a peculiarity. He can't come up with designs when he sees men, Luna replied, using Angelo as an excuse. Alice laughed out loud. What an unexpectedly queer reason. Nevertheless, she did understand. Many designers also had unknown oddities. Don't worry, it's a woman. Luna was relieved. Then, yes. Yes. I want her in. If it was a woman, then there would definitely not be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue, right? Chapter 783. That's settled then. I'll tell her to report directly to you. Alice immediately decided. Luna suddenly had some concerns. Your trump card, is it going to be expensive? If it's too expensive, even if you give her to me, I couldn't afford to employ her. Besides, would she agree to this arrangement? After all, my little place. Since I'm the one making this arrangement, of course, you don't have to pay for anything. I've signed a 5-year contract with her and there's still a year left. I'll transfer her over to you for the remaining year. After that, I'll let her decide for herself whether she wants to stay with you or return to me. When Luna heard this, she frowned and gave it some thought. Despite Alice's assurance that it would not cost her anything, this trump card was from her. Since this trump card was a top performer, her annual salary would at least be in the millions, right? And this was just a conservative estimation. Wait till she came to her little studio, she could probably only get a low salary. It would be a staggering difference. At last, Luna gritted her teeth and said, okay, I'm giving it my all. I want this person. If my studio has yet to grow within a year, I will compensate her for the time lost with me. Alice looked at the girl in front of her and admiration flashed in her eyes. Don't worry, my trump card is not an amateur either. If she can only get a basic salary after a year, there is no need for me to give her to you. You can be assured of her capabilities, but whether or not you can lead her will be very much up to you. Okay, I understand, Luna replied and nodded. Right, remember to prepare 3 sets of outfits for me, okay? Alice suddenly added on as a reminder. So many? Is it so that you have options? Luna was confused. Alice shot her a look. No, it's not for backup options. All 3 sets must be exquisite. I will be wearing all of them. 1 set for the morning, 1 for the afternoon, and 1 more for the evening. Will I only wear 1 set of outfit for such an important occasion? What, incredible. You're willing to wear 3 sets of our outfits? Luna was in shock. What do you think? I thought that you would only wear 1 set at most. After all, she was a trendsetter. It was not easy for her to wear even 1 set of a new designer's work. To protect her status, all the other outfits would be top designs from internationally renowned brands, but this time she was actually willing to become a walking billboard for them. Alice shrugged nonchalantly. It's nothing. I'm in a good mood today. Gladly. Luna started perspiring. Okay. She would never have thought that her impulsive suggestion would gain her something beyond her wildest imagination. It was worth making her future brother-in-law work too. It was worth running around with Cleo for 1 week. It was worth shouting her throat hoarse at that playboy Cleo so he would know how to connect with the heart to pick up girls. Alice contemplated, looking at her, then suddenly said curiously, "Hey, tell me the truth. Do you look down on me? My husband has already treated me that way, yet I still kept hoping for him to change his mind." Luna scratched her head. Based on my temper, I would never take someone back once they're disloyal. However, everyone has their own ways of doing things, so you probably have your reasons. Yeah, reasons. Alice sighed. She smiled wryly and muttered, because the sacrifice was too big. He was someone I had traded my most precious thing for. My dreams. Chapter 784. Luna knew that Alice had left the international fashion scene to stay in Imperial for Marcel. From a certain perspective, Alice was quite similar to her when she had given up on her acting dreams for Liam. This was probably also the reason why she could not help but want to help her. However, as compared to Alice, the road she had chosen was the complete opposite. Even though it was very difficult to rediscover those precious things and rediscover herself, she never once regretted her decision. At the Goldberg family's old residence. Sigh, little girl, you are usually so busy with studies and work. We never expected that you could cook too. Margaret was pleasantly surprised at the dishes Willow had cooked up and laid on the table. No one was at home today, so she used the opportunity to invite Willow over and have a one-on-one chat with her personally to get to know how her life away from home had been like for the past few years. In the end, not only was the girl elegant and poised in the way she carried herself, her range of knowledge was broad, and she had also cooked a few of her best dishes. Even though it was just common home-cooked dishes, such a combination of talents was still quite rare. Willow blushed when she heard the praises. I practiced while I was living alone during my studies abroad. Auntie, you are too kind to eat it even if my cooking skills aren't at a professional level. Look at you, you've already done so well. Most of the girls these days haven't even tried cooking, but you had the heart despite being so busy. My ideas might be a little traditional, but I still think that even though families like us don't need to personally cook every day, the meaning of a personal home-cooked meal is definitely different. You're right, Auntie. Margaret herself was good at cooking, so she held a certain standard for her daughter-in-law. She still found culinary an important skill to have even in this day and age. She had initially thought that a well-pampered, young girl such as Willow would definitely not know how to cook. Plus, she was always so busy, yet she excelled in her work and studies. Who'd have thought that she also knew how to cook? This was indeed a pleasant surprise. Right, Willow, your herbal pork rib soup is not bad. I'll send some over to the elder later, or how about you go over with me? Margaret took the chance to suggest. When Willow heard her invitation, she looked troubled. I'm sorry, Auntie, I still have a proposal to finish tonight. I don't think I'll be able to make it. If she followed Margaret over, she would have the chance to get close to Theo. However, he might be unhappy that she was using her mother, and she obviously knew how to balance things well so as to not do anything that could annoy Theo. Besides, Theo had a girlfriend now. If she acted too desperately, it would reflect badly on her. To come over and accompany Margaret was sufficient. Margaret was even more satisfied when saw that she was not rash and had acted accordingly. That's okay then. Find another day to come to our house again. Okay, Auntie, answered Willow politely. At Platinum Palace. In the restaurant, Cleo's eyes practically bulged out of their sockets while his saliva leaked as he stared at the table full of dishes. Oh my God. Luna. Are you crazy? You really know how to cook a full-course meal. Luna put her hands on her hips and said happily, why can't I? I'm in a really good mood today. It's my pleasure. Cleo looked pleased as he reached out for a piece of his favorite sweet and sour pork ribs. Looks like the issue went smoothly. Did Alice agree to it? Not only did she agree, she is even willing to wear 3 whole sets of our outfits. Morning, noon, and evening outfits, all of it will not be repeated. And she even gave me a person, it's someone under her. Before she could finish, Cleo wolf whistled. Chapter 785. Oh, brother. Take care of your wife. That woman Alice gave your wife a person, a person, a person. Luna kicked him, it's a woman. Oh, she's given your wife a woman, a woman, a woman. Luna was annoyed now. She gave me a marketing trump card to help me manage marketing and sales. And it's a female. Cleo condescendingly scoffed, is there a difference to you whether it's a man or a woman? Luna gave him a hard stare, then picked up a soft piece of braised pork before she ran towards Theo, who was going through some documents in the living room. Ah. Theo looked at her, then opened his mouth. The braised pork melted in his mouth and it was very tasty. He was not sure how she did it, but it did not feel greasy at all. Theo never had a thing for food, but ever since he had tried her dishes, he started to understand why Cleo loved eating delicious food so much. After Luna finished feeding him, she softly swore beside Theo, Big boss, don't listen to him spout nonsense. There is definitely no difference between men or women to me. To me, there are only 2 types of genders, one is everyone else and the other is you. Cleo made the action of bending over to vomit. Ugh. Save your sweet words, my brother is not that gullible. Theo responded with a grunt and Cleo was speechless. Theo gently reminded her, this person was, after all, immediately transferred to you from Alice, so you have to pay attention and observe her yourself. Marketing is not a child's game. However, if she is really Alice's trump card, then her capabilities will definitely not be a problem. Give me a copy of her resume later on and I'll help you take a look. Luna nodded, okay. Thank you, my dear. Cleo had no words. How did it end up like this? He still wanted to retain his appetite. Hey. Little treasure, put down my glutinous rice with pork ribs. He had only been distracted for a short while when he noticed half a plate of his favorite dish being eaten by Little Treasure. Cleo felt like his heart had been stabbed. Little Treasure blinked before he swallowed another bite without hesitation. Oh, my heart hurts. Cleo was prepared to protect his pork ribs to death when a golden head suddenly popped in through the door. Adam had just finished work and was prepared to go home when he was tempted by the aroma of food. Hey. What are you guys doing? Preparing to pray? It's not even the new year. Why is the grand feast? Adam removed his black face mask and directly picked up a salt and pepper prawn with his hands. At such feasts, chopsticks were irrelevant. One taste and he knew it was Luna's work. Adam's eyes instantly shone. Uncle, can I leech on this meal? No. Cleo was about to have a breakdown. Why is there another person here to fight for food with me? These are all mine. All exchanged using my blood, sweat, and beauty. Huh? Beauty? That's not the main point. The main point is, are you sure you want to leech on this meal? You will be force-fed dog food. Cleo used his killer card. Adam took a look at the 2 of them on the sofa, then sat right down. No big deal, I'll just eat with my eyes closed. Many days had passed and he had finally calmed down quite a bit. Some things could not be evaded forever. Cleo was speechless. The table was a whirlwind of chaos as they gorged themselves on the food. Luna was initially worried that she had cooked too much, but as she watched Adam and Cleo inhaling all of it, she was not worried anymore. Halfway through, another person entered. Chapter 786. Beside butler Brandon was a graceful woman donned in a cheongsam. Cleo swallowed the mouthful of food he was chewing on with a gulp before asking, Mom, why are you here? Grandmother. Adam greeted with a full mouth. Mother, Theo greeted her, then got the servant to get another set of cutlery for her. Luna was in the middle of peeling a prawn for Little Treasure when she saw who had entered, so she stood up as well. Madame Goldberg. When Margaret saw Luna at the dining table as well, she paused. I'm here to send you some soup. What are you doing? Is it a special day today? Why have you made so much food? Even Adam is here too. Oh, it's nothing, I just helped sister-in-law with a small favor, so she made me some dishes to thank me. When she heard Cleo call Luna sister-in-law, Margaret was naturally not too happy about it, but for Little Treasure's sake, she did not act out. She looked doubtfully at Luna. She knows how to cook. You try for yourself. Cleo used his chopsticks to pick up a braised eggplant for Margaret. After Margaret put it into her mouth, she frowned as she finished chewing and said, You punk, this is obviously ordered from the restaurant, isn't it? Cleo's mouth twitched in amusement. Oh, please, Mother. I planted these eggplants in the garden myself. Little Treasure washed them, brother cut them, then sister-in-law cooked it. Oh, right, that Adam didn't do anything at all. He's here to leech on our meal. Margaret watched Little Treasure eat like a little squirrel with his chubby cheeks. He did not lift up his head and she felt her heart fill with warmth. Elders liked watching the younger ones eat more and Margaret was no exception. She did not want to move her gaze away from the little bun. The little guy had always counted his rice before eating them. Even when he had changed, she had never seen him eat this happily before. No wonder Little Treasure had fattened up once he was sent back. It seems like this girl was not entirely useless. At least, her culinary skills would have seen a few years of practice and training. Even though it was just an eggplant dish, the simpler a dish was, the more it tested one's skills in actual fact. She had only tried a bite earlier, but it was actually as delicious as the one from the restaurants. Mother, want to join us? Cleo asked. I've eaten, you guys go ahead. Margaret patted her little grandson's head as he focused on his food. Little Treasure, eat slowly. Be careful not to choke. Little Treasure thought that his grandmother wanted to eat too because he saw that she was watching him eat. So, he looked at the huge prawn Auntie Xiao she had peeled for him and struggled very hard with himself before he used his little chopsticks and delivered it to Margaret's mouth. Eat, grandmother. Margaret was shocked by his affection. She quickly opened up her mouth and accepted it. Hey, thank you, my good little grandson, it's so delicious. Grandmother, what are you holding? Adam casually asked. Margaret's expression stiffened. It's nothing, the kitchen made some herbal pork rib soup today and I brought some over for you guys, but I think you're probably too full to drink this now, so just leave it be. Margaret looked at Little Treasure for a while more before he fed her a few mouthfuls of food again, then she left happily. She'll tell the old one that Little Treasure had fed her later. He would definitely be so jealous. On the way home, Margaret was a little distracted. Tonight, she saw that Theo, Cleo, Little Treasure, and even Adam all sitting at one table and eating happily. It really was such a nice family atmosphere. Little Treasure completely seemed like a normal, happy child as well. This was far from how it was like when she used to visit. It was cold and quiet without any life at all. And all of these changes have seemed to happen because of that woman. To be honest, if it was not because of Little Treasure's incident back then that left a scar in her, based on the way she took care of Little Treasure so well, she might have just. Chapter 787. After Margaret left, Cleo casually opened the container with the pork rib soup. Even though the skills of the old residence's chef were not bad, he had long gotten tired of eating it. He felt like it tasted the same as the cooking from restaurant chefs. However, the standard of their soup was still pretty good. Thus, Cleo brought a spoonful of it to his mouth, but he immediately spat it out just as soon as he drank it. My God! This is so horrible. Is she trying to trick me? Is she sure this was made by the kitchen in the old residence? Luna took a sip and said, "It's all right. Even though it's not that great, it's still okay. You're just being too picky, aren't you?" Theo looked at the soup without saying anything. Suddenly, Cleo thought of something and said, "I bet you that this soup was probably made by Willow. Otherwise, why would my mother randomly send it over herself? Probably wanted to brag a little, but it stood nothing next to my she's full-course meal, ha 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 ha." After dinner, Cleo and Adam did not rush to leave. They sat on the sofa to watch television. Because they had eaten too much, they could not move. Luna accompanied Little Treasure to do some Sudoku, then looked at the time and said to Theo, "Big boss, I'm running out of time now. I'm going out to watch my movie." Theo nodded. Be careful on the road. It's cold at night, put on a scarf." Adam heard this and was curious. Watch a movie? What movie? Why wasn't Theo going with her? Luna was annoyed. "Adam, you unreliable person, the movie you're acting in is being released in theaters tonight. Don't you know?" Adam raised his brows. "The movie I'm acting it, oh, you mean The World? It's just being released, but I'm just the second male lead. I can't be bothered to talk to you. I'm leaving." Luna kissed the little bun, then put on a mask and sunglasses. Adam got up to stop her. He said in an incredibly annoying tone, "Hey, wait up, fine, I'll go with you too. This is the first time I've acted as a supporting role since I entered the industry." "But, my uncle's not going with you?" Adam casually asked. When Luna heard this, she quickly stomped on Adam's foot and said, "Why are you asking so many questions? He's not going. He has things to do. Big boss, I'm leaving. Bye-bye. Mwah." She gave Theo a flying kiss goodbye before pulling Adam to run out with her. "Why did you step on me for?" Adam asked unhappily as he was dragged outside. "I almost got killed by you." Luna gave him a mean look. "What about me?" Then, Adam suddenly thought of something. "It can't be because we're a couple in this show, can it? What do you think? Be careful if your uncle watches it and shuts you out. What about your acting with other male artistes then? Will he shut out each and every one of them? Why not?" "Okay. He really could." Adam looked at her with a complicated expression. "To tell you the truth, I'm quite shocked. I didn't think that my uncle would let you remain in the entertainment industry after the both of you have gone steady. If not, would I be a mistress kept in a splendid abode?" Luna looked pridefully at him. "How could the man I choose be wrong? That's enough." At night, Luna had also invited Angelo and Freya to the premiere. When they reached the cinema, the two of them had already reached. They entered the cinema and sat in the corner of the last row. Freya was already curious when she saw the person beside Luna. After they sat down, she impatiently asked, "Luna, who's that beside you?" Before Luna could say anything, Adam, who was beside Luna, crossed over her and pulled his mask off and asked, "You're asking about me?" Chapter 788. Luna shot Adam a mean look, then covered Freya's mouth before she could say any further. "Calm down." Luna glared at Freya, who looked so excited she was about to pass out. Freya lowered her voice and said, "Adam. Is it really Adam? Aaawiowa. My God. Luna, are you really a couple with Adam off-screen? I'm a fan of this relationship. I feel like the two of you are a really good fit for each other, Get together." Adam leaned his arm on the chair and tilted his head, happy to hear this. "Hey, it's rare that you've got a girl with a good eye. Do you have a pen?" No. What to do? I'll go out to buy one." Freya was frantic. I have one. Angelo brought pen and paper with him wherever he went. Adam took the pen and paper before casually signing it. Freya was so emotional that she almost fainted, then she gave the paper to Luna and pleaded, Luna, Luna. I want yours too. Luna was speechless, but she gave her autograph anyway. Then, she saw that Freya had actually drawn a huge heart shape around her and Adam's names. She never would have thought that there was such a huge shipper of Adam and her beside her. This was truly mystical. Angelo, who's your favorite celebrity? Me? I don't really have any celebrity I especially like. Luna, are you counted? Ha ha ha, of course. There were a few more minutes to the movie starting. The theater was practically a full house. After all, the two protagonists of this movie were one of the most popular stars at the moment. Besides, there was Adam, who was a box office guarantee. Even if he only had a supporting role, hundreds of his fans were already showing off their tickets online. Luna could be considered as the only new rookie in the movie. Finally, the screen's advertisement ended, and the movie began. Luna took a deep breath. Woo, I'm nervous. After all, this was the first day of her first movie. Even though The World was strong in terms of investment nor lineup, other movies were released today as well, such Millie's, Starry Sea, a famous comedy director's, Joyful Occasion, and another Hollywood movie. One could say that the screens were crowded with masters of the industry, so the competition was tight. The first scene was Emma's character, Superior Jenna, being chased after for murder. The plot was exciting and tense, hooking everyone into the story instantly. Many fans of Emma were softly screaming in excitement. Following this, the movie followed the two protagonists. Superior Jenna accidentally saved the male protagonist and was forced to enter the palace to avoid getting murdered, and she started to fight off all sorts of people with the male lead. Actually, this was considered a movie with a strong female lead. Superior Jenna's character was very outstanding and easily attracted fans. Her life story was tragic, yet she was smart like a female Zhuge Liang. At last, because of her identity, she could not become the male protagonist's queen and had become the most important female prime minister of the Qing dynasty. The female lead was a cool role and she obviously needed a good complement. Luna's role as the supporting evil character was undoubtedly meant to complete Emma. At last, Freya wanted to scold Luna for being such a hateful character on screen. Luna, you're so good at acting. She had really attracted lots of haters. Chapter 789. Luna giggled a little. She was quite happy listening to all the curses towards Ella. Thank you for all your praises. However, very quickly, when the plot reached the second half of the movie, the images started to reveal Ella's memories. When they slowly deciphered Ella's identity, the audience's attitude had an obvious and magical change towards the character. Ooh! Adam is so handsome. Ella's male disguise is also very interesting. I thought that with her looks, a male outfit would definitely be very striking. Who knew that Adam's portrayal of a weak scholarly character would be so up in the feels? I really feel like pushing him over. As they said that, on screen, Ella had really tied up Adam and pushed him over in her boudoir. Dr. Eden, you're blushing. You actually take a fancy to me, don't you? How about we just straight up turn raw grains into cooked rice? Isn't that a good idea? Shrieks and roaring laughter were heard across the cinema. Oh my god. Ah. This is the part in the trailer where my gets tied up. I have waited for this for so long. It was the first time Adam watched the show as part of the audience and he could not help but rub his nose and felt a little restless. Luna was happy watching her performance. I'm too good at acting as a gangster, don't you think so, Blondie? My ass. You're not even acting. You are already a gangster. After this scene was Luna and Adam's first kiss scene at the Lantern Festival, and the crowd's reaction had been even crazier than they expected. Those shrieks were about to blow the entire roof off. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm falling in love with this couple. How can they be so cute? Oh, my young heart. It's melting. Melting. To tell you the truth, I always thought that Adam has acted in so many lead roles as an overbearing, affectionate CEO, but none of his roles was heartfelt. I couldn't even tell how much he loved the female lead. But in this one, I actually saw love through his eyes. In fact, it's the kind that's suppressed, hidden, and buried deep in the corner of his heart. The kind of strong love that wants to be expressed, but one that doesn't have the courage, and one that just cannot be made known. As she listened to all the discussions around her about being a good fit with Adam, Luna was incredibly grateful that the devil was not present, or else the show would probably be taken down. Adam looked gloomy. My ass, how was I not heartfelt? I was always pouring my emotions into the role. Also, what did they mean by suppressed, hidden, buried deep in the corner of the heart, a strong love that wants to be expressed but it didn't have the courage or could just be made known? Could these people's eyes not be so poisonous? Luna tapped his shoulders. Don't struggle anymore. The audience's eyes are crystal clear. You have really improved a lot for this film. The way you played with your different gazes was much better. Even I felt your love for me. Adam was speechless. He was not sure whether he should be relieved or disappointed after listening to Luna's serious analysis. In the entire movie, the audience was probably most reactive to the scene of Luna with Patricia. When Luna announced her real identity was Ella in front of Patricia, who acted as Princess Daisy, a flashback played. This flashback was unexpectedly the scene where Adam had been shot by 1,000,000 arrows and died in front of Luna. The entire cinema was dead silent. A moment later, the sound of choked sobs was heard. Luna made a brief observation that for this movie, about 90% of people had cried, including the men. Freya, who was beside her, was bawling her eyes out. Oh, how horrible. Can the military doctor not die? He will be resurrected later, right? Adam was in a bad mood, so he spoiled the story relentlessly. No, he's actually dead. Once he said that, Freya started wailing. Luna consoled Freya while she shot Adam a mean stare. Chapter 790. The 2-hour-long movie finally ended. Although the audience wished it would never end, they were hooked on the story. Even though she did not know how the box office did, after Luna sat in the cinema and personally observed the audience's reactions and attitude, she instantly felt much calmer. No matter how the ticket sales fared, she had already reached her own standards on what she wanted to deliver on screen. When they walked out, they saw that there were reporters interviewing the cinemagoers outside the theater. Hello, miss, did you just finish watching The World? Yes. How did you find the movie? Too awesome. Even better than I'd expected. Especially Emma's character, Superior Jenna, she's so strong, she's practically my goddess. Her scenes with Ethan were especially lovely too. At last, I almost cried because she had gone through so much with Noah yet they could not end up together. Hi, sir, whose acting in The World left the most impression on you? Definitely the female lead. She's just too charismatic. Right, will this be broadcasted on television? Yes. That's great, I want to confess to my goddess, Emma, I love you. As he watched the interviews going on, Adam's handsome was full of disdain behind his mask. Please. Do you think everyone's stupid? That theater opposite was entirely booked by Liam for Emma's fans to watch for free, so everyone walking out of there are her diehard fans. If you interview them, they would obviously only praise Emma. Angelo looked at Luna, confident of his boss. The audience has eyes. Word of mouth is something that cannot be faked. Talking about Liam, I previously saw online gossip that Liam had booked theaters for Emma's fans in every city, supporting her new movie in full force. These two people are so loving. They are considered a stream of purity within the entertainment industry, aren't they? Freya's expression clearly envious. Adam shot her a disgusted look. Huh, purity? Little girl, don't easily believe things you've only seen the surface of. Adam looked a little worriedly at Luna. Thankfully, Luna's expression was very calm. It seemed like she had really entirely let go of Liam. But that was not a surprise. The saying was that one only failed to forget past loves because the new ones are not good enough. She was so loving with his uncle now, so why would she still care about Liam? Angelo, how's the preparation for Alice's 3 set of outfits coming along? Luna asked on the way back. I'm done preparing them. One of the sets will be the Nirvana-themed red dress from the Golden Awards and the other 2 are my latest works, Angelo said confidently. It seems like his inspiration-driven works were going pretty smoothly lately. Good, then I'll bring them over for Alice to look at. Miss Alice agreed that she will transfer a sales expert over to us, so she should be reporting to us soon. The 2 of you should get ready to welcome our new member, okay? Really? That's great. Freya was excited. Angelo sighed a breath of relief too as he looked at Luna with full admiration. Every time he felt like he had reached a dead end, she would always find a way, completing things he felt were impossible. On the side, Adam watched Luna's hustler demeanor and suddenly thought of the words Luna had said. This girl said that she wanted to provide for Theo. She really wasn't messing around, was she? Chapter 791. A week later, the highly anticipated China Fashion Week had officially begun in Imperial. It was a platform for the country's top fashion and latest works to show off. The Fashion Week had already become the main battlefield for well-known brands and designers to promote their image, show off their creativity, and set the trend. It was definitely no easy feat to stand out among so many brands. Many brands had already prepared for it half a year ago. Ningxi's studio had only been set up not too long ago and naturally could not compare to those brands that had matured long before. In the end, they managed to rush the latest season's work one day before the Fashion Week. At that moment, Angelo looked quite nervous in a corner off stage. Ningxi had worked very hard to get Alice in as a model. If his work did not achieve the expected effect, not only would he ruin the studio's reputation, even Alice's reputation would be affected too. All of Ningxi's hard work would then go to waste. Ningxi patted him on the shoulders and encouraged him, "My dear, don't be so nervous. Be slightly confident in yourself, okay? Your work is really very awesome. Even Alice praised you." Freya echoed, "If it's gold, it will glitter." Angelo looked gratefully at them. "Thank you." With the traditional Peking opera music playing, the opening ceremony officially began. The stage backdrop had been made to resemble antique architecture with the huge red door and jade green copper ring. When the door was opened, it revealed towering palace walls and models wearing luxurious cheongsam started to walk out. The screen then strikingly flashed History's logo. When they saw the logo, the crowd started to buzz. Turns out the brand for the opening ceremony is History. This brand has only been around for a short 1 year, hasn't it? This is just unbelievable. That's why I said, a designer is a brand's soul. James is really a rare genius, his work is so soulful. But I heard that the last Golden Awards had an unexpected winner. He even defeated James. The work from the anonymous designer from the Golden Awards was quite mesmerizing, but too bad their style is too similar to History's. The chances of winning were huge as well, but who can guarantee that he would win over James every time? I'm guessing that the final outcome will be that he will get kicked out of the market, or be bought over by History. Haven't you noticed that they disappeared recently? The show ended with international model, Angie, wearing History's final outfit, making her spectacular appearance. After it ended, the applause from the crowd was thunderous and everyone walked over to congratulate Emma and James. This Chinese fashion show is amazing. No wonder the organizer chose History to open. Thank you, everyone. At that moment, Emma wore a clean little tuxedo, signifying her shift from a shining star to an elite company CEO, answering everyone's compliments with poise. Emma had been thriving recently. The World, which had only been released a while ago, had achieved $1.5 billion in box office sales on the first day, followed by the Hollywood movie and that comedy, Joyful Occasion, becoming the season's unexpected winner. After that, the box office ran its course because of the super good reviews and netizens, every day faring better than the day before. A week later, it had closed perfectly by grossing $12.3 billion in total. Suddenly, the female protagonist Emma had become extremely popular, even becoming a favored candidate to be the next best actress. You could say she was receiving double the harvest in both the entertainment and fashion industry. Chapter 792. Emma is quite capable. Other celebrities have only created something small for their own brand and whatnot, even making losses, but she has done so spectacularly in such a short time. Of course, any other person in the entertainment industry wouldn't make it. She is a really rich and beautiful girl from a wealthy family. She even has a CEO boyfriend silently supporting her, so how could she not succeed? I wonder whose outfit will Alice wear this time around? Is it actually not history? Didn't she always like supporting newbies? That's not weird. It must be some well-renowned international brand. Emma frowned as she listened to the discussions around her. Sadly, they could not invite Alice. Initially, their plan could have been more perfect, but who'd have known that a mishap would happen in the end? She was not sure why Alice had rejected to walk for their show in the end. James, who was beside her, said, "Angie is great too. She's currently an international supermodel and her influence is comparable to Alice's." Emma looked at him without saying anything. Even though Alice had retired, she was the first Chinese to walk on an international runway back in the day, and she was the muse of many international big brands. Her existence now was like the compass of the fashion world, and she had opened up a fashion company herself. With all that under her belt, how could a rookie like Angie compare to her? However, she knew that Alice would be hard to invite, so this outcome was within her expectations. On the stage, other brands were still continuing the show. After several well-known brands back-to-back, the screen changed and a line of words were revealed: Spirit. ZX. Ah, Spirit. Isn't that the winner designer brand of the Golden Awards? I thought that he would be short-lived and that they would not join the fashion show this time around. After all, they would accidentally be compared to history. If they fail this time, even the title of the Golden Awards will be useless. They have guts, they actually dared to come. Since this designer had broken the record for the highest score in the Golden Awards, there was no doubt that everyone wanted to pay close attention. Thus, they could help but fix their gaze on the stage. The more people anticipated, the harsher they could be. Spirit was indeed in a tough spot. The model started to walk down the runway. When the first outfit appeared, everyone suddenly quieted down. A moment later, the place was filled with sounds of marvel. Spirit had two different themes this time around: Temple Peach Blossom and Midsummer Star. It was magically beautiful. Unlike the Nirvana-themed Elegant Decadence at the Golden Awards, these two sets of outfits were akin to Cupid's arrow, moving the young hearts of women. Offstage, Emma was at ease and James was unperturbed as well. Even though there was a bit of resentment in his eyes, he obviously did not think of them as competitors at all. So what if their designs were amazing? In this industry, one could not only rely on good designs. They had even won the Golden Award, but what about it? The old customers would still only believe in their brand, and not easily trust a fleeting exhibition, a brand that could fall in reputation the next second and demote their social status. After all, they were targeting high-end customers. Clothing was equivalent to the reputation of their face, so they had to be very careful. Now, what they needed to do was wait for Spirit to run into a snag and reach a dead end. Then, they could buy them over at a low price and even expunge the brand entirely before poaching the designer for their own use. However, in the next second, the confident duo Emma and James suddenly widened their eyes. Chapter 793. Apart from that, those who were astonished included the prominent figures in the industry, honored guests, celebrities, and more. No one had expected the model wearing Spirit's Midsummer Star final custom-made dress to be Alice. The dark blue backdrop was embedded with small radiant diamonds and the V-collar near the chest area was designed to stream like the galaxy. The entire outfit was akin to a vast, starry sky within the universe, above our heads on a midsummer's night like a dream. It was just crazy. What was happening? How did Alice appear as Spirit's finale model? Hadn't she publicly praised James many times? Yet, now for such an important occasion, she had worn the garment of designer L who had defeated James the last time. Was she making it known that she thought that mysterious designer was more capable than James? All the guests, public figures, and designers of the industry present were already itching to get to the bottom of this. Finally, the morning show came to end. Offstage, the reporters had long been anticipating. They waited for a long time before Alice finally appeared from backstage and had changed into a different outfit. On her was a fire-red gown in classic Chinese-styled embroidery. The broad skirt was burnt by flames to knee level, revealing a pair of beautifully slender legs. Those who knew could immediately recognize that this was one of the outfits from the Golden Awards winner, designer L's Nirvana theme. "Miss Alice, may I ask if you're currently wearing Spirit's garment?" "Yes." "Miss Alice, may I ask why you are so fond of Spirit's brand?" Alice stroked her skirt lightly, and with wandering eyes, she asked matter-of-factly, "Is this still a question?" At that moment, Alice's aura and the dress were perfectly harmonizing with each other, practically stunning everyone. No matter if it was Alice's personality, aura, or figure, she matched the outfit superbly well. "Well, there really is no need, Spirit is too beautiful and soulful, deserving of the brand's name." "Then Miss Alice, may we ask what you think about history, and how it compares to Spirit? You seemed to love history before this, so why have you suddenly turned to Spirit? Is there a story somewhere within this?" the reporter asked in anticipation. Everyone's eyes immediately gathered onto Alice, including Luna, who was off stage. She was afraid that she would suddenly say something like, "Sure, I'm glad to." Thankfully, Alice was still quite reliable during critical moments. She answered carefully, "James is the most talented designer I've met. Before this, I have indeed been admiring him. However, his designs are like time standing still in this perfect world. Beautiful, but unchanging. With Spirit, I saw growth, transformation, and unlimited possibilities." Alice was very influential in the industry and her evaluations possessed authority. This one sentence immediately defined Spirit's capabilities and moved Spirit's ambiguous status that wandered by the borders, straight into the fashion circle. It was akin to being bestowed with an honorary plaque. Not too far away, Emma was about to lose control at the progress of this situation. How did it become like this? Never mind if it was another big brand. But it had to be Spirit. Our outfits were already sent over earlier, but Alice had rejected them. "Is there a problem with your designs?" Chapter 794. James quickly denied, "Impossible. That garment was our final piece at the Milan Fashion Week." Episodes like these kept happening and Emma could not hold it in anymore. She shouted sternly, "No wonder Alice said you were unchanging. Don't you have other designs?" "But I only chose that piece to be safe." Even though James was saying this, internally, he had started to panic. He could say it was a random coincidence the last time, but then after seeing Spirit's other designs this round, his guilt-driven fear had started to increase. After all, everything he owned now was actually stolen. The more glory and praise he accepted in the day, the more fear he had about losing all of this at night. Most importantly, he was seriously deficient in design drafts. Although he had secretly recruited a big group of people to emulate Angelo's style, even if the works were emulated perfectly, the products could never compare to the original. This could not do. He had to investigate thoroughly who that L actually was. The more he saw that person's work, the more he was afraid. He even had the illusion that it was indeed Angelo's designs. But how could that be? There was no way Angelo could have risen from the ashes. Besides, his designs could not reach that higher state. At night, after the events ended, James was in a bad mood and had left alone, ditching Emma. Just as he was about to get into his car, he unexpectedly saw from the corner of his eye the figure that appeared in his nightmares every night. Angelo. James was frightened stiff. Just as he was about to go closer, that person had already gotten into the car and disappeared from his line of sight. James only calmed down after the car left for a long time. He must have been too tensed, he must have. That person's appearance and hairdo were so fashionable. How could it be Angelo who was so often slovenly dressed? Inside the car that left earlier, Luna looked in the rearview mirror and asked, "That person opposite was James, wasn't it? Did he recognize you?" Angelo obviously noticed too, and he forced a smile. "I don't think so. After all, even I can't recognize myself with my current look." Luna nodded. "You're right." Freya looked curious. "How did Director Angelo look before this?" "It's best if you don't know, it will ruin your fantasy." Just as she spoke, her phone suddenly rang. It was an unknown number. Luna picked it up in doubt. "Hello? Miss?" Just as it got through, an agitated voice spoke. Luna hesitated. "You are, Cora?" The only people who would address her like this was the old servant by grandfather's side. "Yes. It's me. Miss, quickly go to the hospital. Master has been admitted to the hospital." Cora's tone sounded incredibly sorrowful. "What?" Luna parked her car by the roadside with a screech. Her face was pale. "How's grandfather?" "Master suddenly fainted at home. The doctor said that he might not make it this time. I saw that the young masters had not informed you, so I decided to just make this call. The person Master wants to see the most would definitely be you." Cora's tone sounded like she really wanted her to see him one last time. "How did this happen? Which hospital is it?" "I'll rush right over." Chapter 795. "I'm sorry, my grandfather is ill. I have to immediately go to the hospital, so I might not be able to send you guys." "No worries, Luna, go quickly. Your grandfather is important. We'll just get a cab ourselves." "Okay, take care." "Boss, don't worry too much, drive carefully." "I will." After bidding goodbye to Angelo and Freya, Luna immediately rushed to the hospital address given by Cora. As she drove, she called to ask Cora about the situation. "Cora, what actually happened?" "I was just talking to grandfather on the phone a few days ago." "Wasn't he quite healthy?" Cora sighed. "Master was just consoling you. You know the situation in this family. First young master only thinks about the adopted daughter, while second young master's two illegitimate daughters cause so much ruckus every day. Master has waited for so many years, yet he could not wait for a great-grandchild to carry on the bloodline. As he aged, his heart issue was getting more serious too. Actually, the person Master was worried most about is you. At least, Miss Emma has her mother to protect her, but what about you, Miss?" He was worried that after he passes on, you would be alone with no one to rely on. Before this, he wanted to matchmake you with the young master from the George families, just so you would have someone to depend on in the days to come. Luna listened to all these words in silence, her emotions indescribable. When Luna arrived, Robert, Rebecca, Emma, Thomas, Olivia, and Liam were all already there. Robert and Rebecca looked forlorn, while Emma had cried till her eyes were swollen as she leaned weakly into Liam's embrace. Thomas did not look sad. He only stared at Robert with despise. "What are you pretending for? All of you couldn't wait for the old man to die, right? Once he dies, the Brown family will be all yours." "Shut up. Do you have any humanity in you? Father is already like this, yet here you are saying all of this." Robert rebuked angrily. "What about me? Haven't I said what's exactly on your mind? Are you already tripping? You dare say that you aren't thinking about it?" While the two sides were awfully busy arguing, the sound of rushed footsteps were heard from the end of the corridor, then everyone saw Luna hurrying over. "Oh, another one has come to compete for the family inheritance." Thomas scoffed. When she saw Luna, an alertness flashed across Emma's eyes. The biggest hindrance to her getting to the power of the Brown family was that stubborn old man. Once he was gone, the highest authority would fall to Robert. Without the old man's bias towards Luna, Robert and Rebecca would definitely be on her side. Then, the Brown family's power would be easily attainable. As for the second family, that weak and inept Thomas and feeble-natured Olivia were not even a threat. The old man would definitely leave the company in their hands. Now, she was only worried if, the old man was impulsive right before he died and transferred all of his shares to Luna recklessly, then, it would all be over. Of course, the possibility of this was very minimal. Besides, Robert definitely wouldn't let such a thing happen. Based on the old man's personality, he would probably give her a portion to make sure she was well taken care of. Even though she was not willing to let her get his shares and bonuses for doing nothing, it was still okay to let her be a small shareholder and watch her control the company. Chapter 796. What are you doing here? Robert's face stiffened when he saw Luna. Obviously, he was also afraid that she would ruin things at that critical moment. Sister, you're here. Quickly go see grandfather. You usually don't come back, grandfather has been missing you. The person he definitely wants to see the most now would be you. Emma cried as she said this. The way these words were said. Clearly, she was trying to imply that Luna was usually nowhere in sight and had only rushed over when someone was about to die. What's there to see? Why are you here to pretend to be filial at such a time? Rebecca said in a hostile tone. Luna's heart was focused on the elder and she did not have the time to deal with these people. She looked through the glass window of the ICU room, silently watching the old man who lay on the sick bed. She knew that Cora was right. The person who worried grandfather the most was her. Olivia walked over and pat her on the shoulders to console her, looking guilty. How's grandfather? Luna asked. Olivia replied sorrowfully, he's temporarily stable, but the doctor said that grandfather's health is not looking too positive, he's afraid that he wouldn't make it past this winter. Luna, don't be too sad. When a person reaches this age, there will be a day when. Liam consoled her and gave her a tissue on the side. Luna felt uncomfortable at Liam's words. Grandfather was not dead yet, but his words made it sound like there was no doubt about it happening. At that moment, in the ward, Elder Brown suddenly opened his eyes slowly and looked towards Luna outside the window, struggling as if he wanted to say something. The nurse took off the breathing aid and leaned in close to hear the elder, then she opened the door to walk out and ask, the patient says he wants to see a Miss Luna. Which one of you is her? Instantly, everyone looked towards Luna. That's me. Luna quickly said. Come in with me, but the patient's still very weak now, don't talk to him for too long, reminded the nurse. Okay, I know, thank you. Emma's heart was full of envy as she watched Luna walk right in. She had tried to please this old man, yet she was afraid that he would never compare her to a single strand of Luna's hair in his heart. Of course, what she revealed on the surface was sadness and disappointment. Liam consoled her when he saw her disappointed face. Luna is not at home all year. The old man would have definitely missed her a little. Robert did not care about Emma. He was preoccupied with what the elder would have called Luna in to talk about. Sadly, the soundproofing in the ward was so good that nothing could be heard from the outside. Inside the ward, Luna quickly held the elder's hand, grandfather. The elder trembled as he looked at her emotionally. You're here. As she watched the elder's weak and withered appearance, Luna's heart was wrenched. Grandfather, I'm sorry. Silly child, why are you apologizing for? The elder stroked her hair and gasped for a few huge breaths. He was afraid his body would not hold up any longer, so he immediately said to her, Luna, I've always hoped that I could wait for the day you take over the company. That way, I could still be around to help you wipe out the obstacles and have you sit stably in position, but now, I'm afraid I have no more time left. I know that you now have your own career, your own life, you're angry and unwilling to return, forget it, I won't force you. I've left 10% of the shares for you in my will, enough for you to be well taken care of for the rest of your life. I didn't dare leave you too much, because, a man's wealth is his own ruin by causing the greed of others, it would attract bad news for you. Chapter 797. Grandfather, stop saying that, you'll be fine. Sigh, you don't have to console me, I know my body myself, I thought that I could hold on for another few years and wait, at least, wait till all of you have started a family and have stable careers. Grandfather, say no more. Quickly rest. Luna urged. As long as there was a glimmer of hope, he could still wait, but her grandfather obviously knew that even if he waited longer, there would be no hope. He did not dare hand the business over to the second son's family, but for the daughter to his first son, she was so determined and career-minded that there was no way she would return to the Brown family and join the company. Because of the nature of her work, any ideas of marriage and bearing children were uncertain too. A person lived for a stretch of breath. Once this stretch had ended, the body would inevitably wither down. Luna looked unusually serious when she left the ward. "What did your grandfather say to you?" Robert immediately asked when he saw her walk out. "Nothing much," Luna casually said and immediately walked past everyone to leave. Robert was so angry that he shouted from behind, "What's with her attitude?" Seeing as how the family inheritance and company was going to fall with the elder, Thomas started to be anxious. He lowered his voice and pulled Olivia aside. "Olivia. Look at Luna, she's rarely home in a year," yet the elder was still concerned about her. "You're still the elder's granddaughter after all. Can you help me? If you don't fight for it, you'll be left with nothing." Olivia shot him a cold look. "I can't wait for you to end up with nothing, then I would like to see whether those women outside would still be loyal to you then. You. No matter how Uncle was like, at least he never cheated with other women, but you, are you still considered a man? What do you know? Do you know what Rebecca's real identity is? He wishes he could do it, but he wouldn't dare. He wouldn't dare even if I lent him 100 guts." At the Brown family's bungalow. When they reached home, Robert said heavily, "Rebecca, I have something to discuss with you." "What is it?" "Is it about that girl?" Rebecca frowned. Robert nodded, then hesitated. "How about, we go advise Luna, have her come home. The elder will definitely include a part of the shares for her. If she were to be roped in by some other person, it would inevitably affect me. Besides, Emma is still not our biological child and I would still need to continue the bloodline somehow." Rebecca's expression instantly changed at the sound of this. "What are you trying to say? Emma single-mindedly treated us like her own biological parents. Are your words fair to her? Is the bloodline so important? I'm telling you, bloodline means nothing to me. In my heart, Emma is my only daughter. Have you forgotten all the embarrassing things that girl did? Don't drag me along if you want to get stepped on. If she causes any problems in the future, it will have nothing to do with me." Robert consoled helplessly, Okay, I was just casually mentioning it because I was out of ideas. Why do you have to be so agitated for? Besides, I'm just letting her return as an adopted daughter. I didn't say anything about announcing her identity. Don't try to hit on the shares the elder gives her. I don't care about that petty sum either. You can just buy it over, the money would be enough for her to use the rest of her life. Even though I didn't raise her, I did give birth to her, but I don't owe her anything. I've been considerably kind to her." Chapter 798. As Rebecca said this, she looked coldly at Robert. "If you care so much about the bloodline, you can just be like your brother and look for young girls outside to give birth for you." Robert suddenly panicked, and he quickly consoled her, "Hey, what nonsense are you spewing? How could I do such things? Are you still not sure of my feelings towards you?" Just as the two people were speaking in lowered voices, Emma walked out from the kitchen with a bowl of soup. "Mother, Father, I was worried that you would be anxious and feel heated, so I stewed some white fungus lotus seed soup for you to drink before sleeping. You will feel better. Grandfather has already been admitted, so the two of you must watch your health." Rebecca quickly took the soup and looked lovingly at her. "Ah, okay, good girl, you must be so tired today. You were busy with the fashion week in the day, and then you were called to the hospital as soon as it ended without any time to rest. You should get some rest soon. Leave all these things for the servants to do." "Mother, I'm fine, I'm not tired." Rebecca looked affectionately at her daughter that she raised perfectly, and sighed, "Emma, the old man most probably won't make it this time. You must enter the company then, I'm just worried you will be even more busy and tired." Then, she shot Robert a warning look, indicating for him to give up those unwarranted thoughts. Robert could only keep silent. After all, His current position was unstable and he still had to rely on Rebecca and the Sue family. When Emma heard this, she disguised the happiness in her eyes and quickly said, "Mother, I'm still young. It's the best time to really work hard. A little hardship and fatigue is nothing. Besides, as long as I can help Father and Mother, I'm already really happy." Rebecca touched her hand and replied her, "I know that you're the most obedient. You will forever be my daughter. You deserve all of this. As long as I'm here, no one can belittle you." Robert coughed. "Naturally, the same goes for me." Emma choked on her sobs with her eyes down. "Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Ever since I found out about my past life, I've been trembling with fear, feeling like the world was going to come crashing down on me. I really don't know what I did wrong. Suddenly within one night, my home was no longer my home, and the parents I loved deeply were not my parents too. Rebecca felt as if her heart had been cut out. "Of course not. Father is still your father, and I'm still your mother. All of this will never change." Robert was touched too. "You're raised by us. So what if you're not our biological child? In our hearts, you've long become our true daughter. There are so many children who aren't filial out there, though they are biological ones, and they can't compare to half of you. You're our pride, our Brown family's lucky star. Did you forget? You're not allowed to have such nonsense thoughts again." Late at night, at Platinum Palace. Luna had prepared to return to the apartment, but she found herself driving here. It was late, so she was not sure whether Theo was asleep already. Luna was hesitating outside the door when the gate suddenly opened by itself. Theo was standing at the door in his pajamas. "Luna." Before he could finish, Luna had already ran into his embrace. "What happened?" Theo frowned and swiftly asked. The moment Luna saw him, she finally let loose of all her repressed vulnerabilities, and said in a hoarse voice, "My grandfather fell ill. It's really serious. The doctor said he might not make it this time." Chapter 799. "Don't worry, come in first, then talk." Theo quickly brought her in, sat her down on the sofa, then poured a glass of hot milk for her. Luna held the glass of milk and stared at it blankly for quite a while before she said with determination, "My grandfather is most worried about me, Theo. I want to find, or rent a guy to pretend to be my boyfriend and let my grandfather meet him, so he would feel assured." "Why don't you bring me?" Theo asked. Bring you?" Luna was stunned. Theo did not look too happy. Did she not even think of him at all? Luna quickly reacted and said, What I mean is that if I brought you, my grandfather probably wouldn't be assured, but shocked instead. At such a moment, he wouldn't believe you even more if you brought someone else over. You can only bring me." Theo's tone was firm. Is that so? If you don't bring me, who else would you bring?" Theo looked at her to ask. Luna looked at him weakly. "Should I be honest?" Luna scratched her head. "Actually, I wanted to bring Mason over to help cover up since his identity is more suitable, plus grandfather has always quite liked him, thus." Before she could finish, Luna could already feel a sense of danger. She quickly held on to Theo's arm and said, "Hey, I think grandfather would definitely like you more. Let's go, I'll bring you over tomorrow." Theo shot her a look. Of course, he knew her concern was logical. With his identity, it would be hard for the elder to believe that he was sincere. There might even be a possibility that he wouldn't accept him. "I will settle whatever you're worried about." Theo looked at the girl and gave her his reassurance. Sadly, a boyfriend can immediately be brought over, but the wish for a great-grandchild cannot be fulfilled. Luna looked sad as she mumbled, "Even if I started making one now, I wouldn't make it in time." As Luna said this, she suddenly thought of something and excitedly stood up. "Theo, can you lend me little treasure?" "No need." What do you mean? You're not lending?" "No need to lend, he's yours, to begin with." Luna was so touched that she started to tear up. "I'm not sure if what I'm doing is right, but I know that if I don't do anything, would definitely regret it." There was no way she would let her grandfather pass away with regrets and without peace of mind. Thus, the next morning, Luna brought Theo and the little bun to the hospital. Theo had probably arranged beforehand. The ward area was extremely quiet without any random people around. A doctor personally led them upstairs. "Doctor, how's my grandfather? Is he better today?" Luna asked anxiously. The doctor shook his head heavily. "Very terrible, he remains in a daze. If the situation continues to worsen like this, I'm afraid, within the next 2 days." "What?" Luna suddenly changed in expression. She was initially hesitating about whether to lie to her grandfather about little treasure, but now, she could not care so much anymore. Luna took a deep breath and pushed the door into the ward. "Grandfather, I've come to see you." On the sick bed, the elder's spirit looked worse than yesterday. When he heard Luna's voice, he only lifted up his eyes slightly. Luna. Chapter 800. "Grandfather, it's me." Luna walked up to the bed. "I'm sorry, grandfather, I've actually been keeping something a secret from you. I've met someone I like. In fact, we're already together, but because of my work, I can't publicize it, so I never told anyone. Today, I've specially brought him over for you to meet." The elder did not have much energy to open his eyes. A moment later, he slowly asked, "How much did you spend?" How much money did you spend to rent?" Grandfather, I didn't rent him. This really is my boyfriend." Luna was a little speechless. No wonder Theo said that if she brought someone else, grandfather would not believe her even more. The elder sighed, "I know that you just want to make sure I have a peace of mind, you don't actually need to." "Grandfather, I really didn't rent him. If you don't believe, I'll prove to you," Luna said as she pulled Theo by the neck and kissed him on the lips. You brat. How could simply let someone take advantage of you? This is such nonsense." Luna had no words. Wow, he still did not believe this was really her boyfriend. "Grandfather, I haven't introduced myself. My surname is Goldberg and my name is Theo. I am currently with the Goldberg Corporation, and am indeed in a relationship with Luna." The elder was immediately stunned. At the same time, he tried hard to open his eyes and slowly evaluated the man before him. "Wait, hold on, who did you say you were?" "Goldberg what?" "Theo, grandfather, how much money do I need to be able to rent Theo?" Luna said helplessly. "He's Theo." Theo took out an identification card from his pocket and put it into the elder's hand. The elder's expression changed from suspicion to shock. "Right, grandfather, there's still one more thing I hid from you," Luna said as she held the hand of little treasure, who had been waiting obediently behind Theo. "Here, this is your great-grandson." The elder was initially still in a sleepy daze and not very clear-headed. But when he suddenly saw Luna lead a soft and white little bun forward, and he heard the words, "great-grandson," he immediately widened his eyes. "What did you say?" The elder almost jumped off the bed and frightened Luna, so she quickly held him protectively. "Grandfather, don't be too emotional, watch yourself." Luna could only help support him temporarily. The elder immediately hurled out his trembling hands and stared at little treasure unblinkingly, afraid that he would disappear. Come to great-grandfather." Little treasure turned to look at Luna, then obediently walked to the elder under Luna's encouraging gaze. He also hurled out his hand and held the elder's hand. The moment that little hand held his palm, the elder's tears instantly fell, his body shaking violently. Is this really my great-grandson?" Luna's eyes had reddened too, yet she was not quite sure how to answer him. Theo replied, "Yes, little treasure is my child with Luna." When little treasure heard this, he nodded too, he was the child of mother and father.